Welcome back to The Explainer. So, if you've been following the rapid evolution of generative media, you know the landscape shifts almost daily. But every once in a while, an update drops that absolutely forces us to rethink our entire workflow. And that's exactly what we're looking at today with Seedance 2.5. Okay, let's dive into this and explore how this new model is fundamentally transforming AI generation from what used to be a chaotic experiment into a highly structured professional production system. We've taken all that massive documentation and distilled it down to the 20 absolutely essential facts you need to know, without getting bogged down in all the heavy tech specs.
To really understand why Seedance 2.5 is such a big deal, we have to talk about this massive paradigm shift. I mean, think about it. For the past year, the old era of AI generation felt kind of like pulling the lever on a slot machine, right? You typed in a prompt, crossed your fingers, and just hoped you'd get a lucky 5 or 15-second clip that looked cool, even if it had literally nothing to do with the clip you generated right before it. Well, the new era changes that entirely. Seedance 2.5 isn't just about making prettier images. It's a complete AI production system. We're no longer just crossing our fingers for isolated clips. We're actually directing a cohesive production from start to finish.
To make this as efficient as possible, we've grouped our 20 facts into 5 core pillars: the core system upgrade, 30-second storytelling, audio and visual quality, the ultimate reference engine, and finally, precision editing and control. Let's jump straight in.
Pillar number 1, the core system upgrade. We are officially shifting from isolated clips to full-blown productions, starting right at the foundational architecture. So, here are our first 4 facts, and they really set the stage for everything else. First up, Seedance 2.5 is a joint audio and video generation model. It doesn't just awkwardly bolt sound onto a video after the fact. It actually thinks about visuals, dialogue, and music as integrated parts of the exact same scene. Which leads directly to fact 2. The entire focus has shifted from generating one-off clips to actually completing a creative work, like a full commercial or a short film. Fact 3 reminds us that it's built directly on that incredibly strong multimodal architecture of Seedance 2.0. So it keeps all those great reference features you already know, but just supercharges them. And rounding out the foundation, fact 4, while the visual quality is obviously great, this upgrade specifically prioritizes length, control, and editability. So the crucial point is that this unified model is handing creators actual production control, proving that utility and consistency are now just as important as pretty pixels.
Let's move to and see how this builds right into our second pillar, 30-second storytelling. This one is entirely focused on narrative progression.
Bringing us to fact number 5, and honestly, it is a massive one. 30 seconds. Seedance 2.5 can generate up to 30 seconds of video natively in a single pass. That's an incredible leap from those frustrating 15-second limits we were wrestling with before. This is the big headline feature, because 30 seconds happens to be the exact sweet spot for a complete commercial, a proper dialogue exchange, or even a fully realized action sequence.
But listen, it's not just about taking one slow-motion clip and stretching it out for half a minute. For fact 6, notice how the model generates multiple connected shots inside that one video. A character could start in a dressing room, walk down a hallway, and step out onto a stage, all in one cohesive generation, complete with changing camera angles. Fact 7 tells us it actually understands basic narrative progression now. If you prompt it for a beginning, a middle, and an end, it'll try to pace those 30 seconds to actually match your story arc. And for fact 8, if 30 seconds somehow isn't enough, it supports seamless video extensions. You can ask the model to just keep the scene going, and it will impressively preserve your main character's face, their outfit, and the specific environment across multi-minute projects. You're getting true storytelling continuity.
That brings us to our third section, audio and visual quality. Let's look at the sensory upgrades. Okay, commercial editors are absolutely going to fall in love here. Fact 9 reinforces that audio and visuals are generated together, but fact 10 reveals the practical magic of that. Visual actions can now be timed perfectly to sound cues. Imagine a soda can landing on a table exactly on a heavy bass drop, or a door slamming shut right on a musical beat. It's so cool. Fact 11 covers the visual upgrades. We're seeing vastly improved object textures, which is totally vital for product shots, and much more stable skin and eye rendering for close-ups on human characters. And finally, fact 12, Seedance has heavily reduced those weird, unwanted AI subtitles and that random background music that used to just ruin otherwise perfectly good clips.
We're now entering our fourth pillar, the ultimate reference engine. This is where we really get to guide the AI.
Fact 13 is just a staggering number. 50. You can now upload up to 50 multimodal reference assets for a single generation. I mean, let that sink in for a second. We used to struggle to get a model to understand just 1 or 2 reference images. Now you can feed the AI an entire gallery of specific constraints before it even starts generating your scene.
Fact 14 breaks down exactly how you can use that massive allowance. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the specific distribution it gives you. You get 30 images to lock down your characters, their costumes, and the exact lighting. You get 10 videos, which you can use to dictate complex camera movements or dance choreography that text prompts just can't describe properly. And you get 10 audio clips to define voices or musical rhythm. Essentially, you're assigning specific roles to different assets to build a comprehensive digital production Bible for the AI to follow.
Which brings us to facts 15 and 16, centered around a genuinely revolutionary concept, the clay render. Fact 15 defines it. You can now feed Seedance a basic, untextured 3D animation, literally just gray boxes and simple shapes moving around in space. Fact 16 explains why this is an absolute game changer. It completely separates staging from visual design. Instead of crossing your fingers and praying the AI understands your text prompt about a complex camera fly-through, you just block it out roughly in 3D software first. You define the spatial relationships in the exact camera path with the clay render, and then you use your image references to tell the AI what the textures and lighting should look like. It gives you unprecedented directorial control over blocking.
For our final section, we're looking at the final polish. Welcome to Pillar 5, Precision, Editing, and Control.
Fact 17 is going to fundamentally change how we write prompts. Seedance 2.5 introduces timestamp-level instructions. You no longer have to write one massive, confusing paragraph and just hope the AI guesses the right pacing. You can now dictate the exact second an action should occur on your timeline. And this brilliantly illustrates how Fact 17 works in a practical, everyday commercial workflow. Look at the structure. From 0 to 4 seconds, you tell the model to just hold steady on the product. Then, precisely at 4 seconds, a hand enters. At 8 seconds, the camera starts moving. At 12 seconds, we transition to the logo. You are literally directing the pacing second by second, meaning your text prompts now function a whole lot more like a traditional video editing timeline. Let's rapid-fire our last 3 facts, all focusing on post-generation. Fact 18. Generated videos can now receive targeted edits. If there's a tiny mistake, you don't have to throw away the whole 30-second clip anymore, you just fix that specific moment. Fact 19 is huge. You can edit camera movement completely separately from the performance. If your AI actor gave a stellar performance but the camera was boring and static, you can keep the actor exactly the same and tell the AI to add a dynamic whip pan. And fact 20. The model handles green screen material incredibly well. It allows you to seamlessly adapt real human subjects into entirely new AI-generated worlds while perfectly matching the lighting and physical details. This fundamentally alters the post-production pipeline.
When you step back and look at all 20 of these facts together, the timestamps, the clay renders, the 50 references, it really brings us to this exact philosophical takeaway. Seedance 2.5 is not just a magic button that does the work for you. Actually, it's the exact opposite. It demands and rewards true directorial skill. The creators who already understand lighting, blocking, camera movement, and pacing, they're going to get exponentially better results than someone just typing, "make a cool cinematic video." The tools are finally here to execute real, structured visions. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this question to chew on. Which of these features is going to fundamentally change the way you personally work? Are you going to lean heavily into those 30-second narrative lengths? Will you build massive visual Bibles with a 50 reference system? Or are you going to start blocking out your scenes with 3D clay rendering? Think about how you can integrate this new production system into your very next project. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and as always, keep experimenting.